share screen. I want my, there it is. And okay, so I just wanted to say, this is the Sequential Artists Workshop. Hello. And we have, we're a nonprofit. We have online courses. You can learn lots more at learn.sawcomics.org. That's the website. One of our next things that actually started a few days ago, but there's still time to do the reading and catch. Monday's first call is Modern Comics Exploration. It's a course with Ayani Cooper, and it's going to be 6 weeks of reading graphic novels intensively, including these topics. But I won't get too in depth. You can do it yourself by going there, learn.sawcomics.org. Recommendation to share Friday Night Comics, hashtag anywhere on social media, but also you can tag us Comics Workshop, but you can also join us anytime at members.sawcomics.org. And we've got lots and lots and lots of places where we're sharing our work, especially in that place. And some of the people who are in that can guide you around, show you. So if you don't get a chance to share tonight, and probably everybody won't get to, you can definitely go in there and tag some stuff. And so there's just some screenshots of that. Sorry, let's see. We're supported by donations. There's some ways that you can support us. Patreon, oh yeah, that was supposed to be a PayPal link. I didn't change that last week, but you can learn more. This is kind of like a podcast where we tell you our Patreon early on. Please no inappropriate speech or imagery. Yeah, so we had that last week too. Enjoy. It's real quick. I want to show you. Next week we're having Lawrence Lindell come back, November 5th. But and they'll be in the chat window and also email. There'll be a registration link, but that's already up. And this is now time for Cara Bean. So Cara, just give me like 10 more seconds to tell people about some of the things that we're doing for security. Okay. And I'll pass it on to you, and I'll mute myself, and I'll shut my hat hair down and all that stuff. And so that's everyone will have noticed, I think, that you had to have it was a slightly different registration, a little harder. Everyone is muted. In order to be unmuted, you have to ask. So me or Cara will be handling that at the end when we're sharing. Likewise, if you want to raise your hand, you have to do it with the little Zoom. Either it's the reaction button down below, or there might be one in your own window that will allow you to raise your hand. I think that's it, actually. There were a couple other little nitpicky things that we did behind the scenes, but mostly that's what we did. So, Cara, thanks. First of all, thanks for coming back. Second, thanks for driving down into my street. She's literally like 40 feet away from me. Okay, so I'm going to turn off. And I do recommend music. I think music would be lovely later, no matter how tinny, but I'll let you sort that out. I'm going to sign off and give it to you, Cara. Thank you so much for coming back, everybody. Thank you for coming back, Cara, and enjoy.
All right. Thank you so much, Tom. So welcome back. I made a comic for us that I'm going to share. Some of you are joining for the first time today, and some of you were here last week when we first got started, and we kind of suffered a trauma together. So very interesting. And I thought, like, well, that's something I brought up in our talk last week. So I wanted to address it in a holistic and turn that frown upside down, feel better kind of way. And I also wanted to re-enter our drawing, because really I was taking us on a process and we didn't get to finish. So it was very frustrating for me. I was like, oh, like we didn't do the things I wanted us to do. So this week we can do it finally, and I'm delighted. So I think this comic will help you understand. Oh, and then add to that, this week I'm in Southern Massachusetts, and we got a huge storm, and there's like no electricity, and I don't know if anyone else is from there, but no internet. So yeah, Tom and I met at his studio, and I'm broadcasting here. That's how much we were like, we have to do this, like we have to come back. So anyway, that's what's going on. And that's the hat. Bad hair day, no shower. Okay, so let me share my screen. Let me go to my, let's do this for a second. Okay, organization. All right, I'm ready. Share screen. And okay, can everybody see this okay from where you are? Great, awesome. Okay, so this is a little comic that I made in the days after our workshop last Friday. Because one of the things, I love comics. If you're just meeting me today, I make comics for kids about mental health. I'm very interested in especially anxiety and stress. And so I was like, wow, I've been doing workshops the whole pandemic. This had never happened to me before. What happened to us? So I had to do a quick writing about it. It's very scrappy. It's very much from my sketchbook, not fancy, but I think you'll get the idea. So my last name really is Bean, so it's this little bean character, and I'll just read it to you. Last Friday, we had a nice start to our online drawing and doodling for creativity session. It was a lovely group of 100+ people cultivated by Saw and Believer magazine. How wonderful, so exciting to see. People listened to my talk about the benefits of drawing to calm ourselves, to solve problems, to increase memory, and to process trauma. And so I kind of revisited that slide of like, whoa, when something happens to you and then you feel it and then you need to express it. We got deep into the midst of creating blob characters with the goal of non-attachment. This means quickly drawing shape after shape, giving them faces to make them something to interact with, basically putting little faces on blobs. So it's like as far as we had gotten. We were hoping to feel truly present and not get caught up in the automatic process of fixating on things being better or worse than they are at any given moment. We're just accepting them. We're repeating shapes and we're moving from one thing to the next and not getting caught up on them. And that's what we were doing. Anyway, right in the middle of this exercise, during a moment of childlike happy vibes with drawing, a terrible thing happened. We got Zoom bombed and it was traumatic and stupid as intended. And a bunch of dumb, horrible, nasty things were shown on the screen from someone that intruded on what was supposed to be relaxing workshop. And I don't need to show you the images again. If you were there, you remember, probably still in your head a little bit. The workshop ended, but we agreed to meet the following week to try and restore what had been ruined. And then I always like with my cartooning to document my physical reactions. So I was like, oh, my face turned bright red and I got such a big headache that night. Like my back of my head was just pounding. Some of us touched base and tended to each other emotionally later on Instagram, which was so nice. Are you okay? I'm so sorry that happened. A small group of us kept drawing. Go drawing team. You were good. We will come back. Like a lot of positivity, just kind of like reaching out to find each other online, which I really appreciated for those of us. And if you didn't do that with us, I'm sorry if you were just suffering by yourself. It was very awkward. As per usual, my vagus nerve let me know it had been triggered over the next couple of days because I got a sensitive one and you probably do too. I had a stiff neck, I was woozy, I was achy, I was not wanting to make eye contact with a lot of people. I just had that reaction because I did. Maybe you did too. But petting dogs, which I'm dog sitting my brother's dogs. So I have a house full of dogs. Laughing with my family and some good sleep helped make it begin to fade away. I couldn't help but think about our workshop terrorist. Who was this person? From what I read, it was likely a lonely, angry teenage boy searching for community and recognition on some website, some Discord or something. So I just imagined him because that's fun, right? Who is this person that bombed me? And I picture him getting like rooted on by his friends, like, good job, yeah, you got them. Okay. I guess one thing we had in common that night was that we didn't want to feel alone. We wanted to be part of something. We both used imagery. This is where I could connect with this person. Okay, we both live in the world of pictures, and we want to interact. I use my pictures to connect and calm, and I can only guess that he's using pictures to disturb and threaten. Right? There's power in that. Feels exciting. It's good to remember that there might be factors influencing a person's behavior. Maybe his prefrontal cortex is not fully fused, so he may lack empathy that he may gain later in life. Maybe this is just me imagining it as an art teacher of 13 years. Maybe there was no art in a school system. They didn't offer the arts, and that could be problematic. I'm just guessing here. I'm imagining things, but he craves agency. We all do. I get that. But then I just kept thinking about this imaginary character that I started drawing, right, in my sketchbook. He says, I'd like to imagine that in the future, he might have some regrets. What was my deal? I've done things I'm not proud of. The internet made it so easy to be cruel. Now looking back, he's got a long beard. See, time has gone by, right? And then I keep thinking about this guy. Maybe he feels really bad. Or maybe it just makes me feel good to think about him feeling really bad. He says, now I'll just avoid computers and in general, and I'll devote myself to caring for stray dogs. Because again, I'm like super into dogs, okay? That makes me feel better. And then now I'm stepping back. I'm creating a comic, if you hadn't noticed. And it's given me my power back because now I'm the narrator. I get to have the final say about what happened, right? This is why I believe in comics. And this is the power of comics. And this is why we're back here today, to make some comics together, right? And maybe you've had some thoughts about this too, very curious. So we're gonna draw together. I hope you're ready. I'm gonna shift out of the screen share and I remember how to do that. Oh yeah, stop share. And yeah, so there's my little comic. And okay, everybody okay with that? Okay, great. Yeah, but it really was something. It really was a trauma to a physically felt event for me. Maybe it wasn't for all of you, but it really was for me. I felt like I really wanted to protect you all and I couldn't stop it, and it was really terrible. So let's rejoin what we're doing and set things straight, and we can feel safe in this space that Tom has properly created all the security that we need, that way we will not be interrupted. We are going to hold up our pen or pencil that you're going to be using today. Hopefully you have one. And hopefully you have a little stack of scrap paper or sketchbook or a notebook, doesn't matter. Anything you can draw on, paper plates, I don't care, whatever you got, okay? Good, we got something. Try not to ruin anybody else's stuff, right? That's the only rule. And what I like to do, if you weren't here with last week, is I like to create some oxytocin, which is really silly, but we're gonna bond with our drawing utensil by rolling it in our hands. It makes a fun sound, so you get the auditory piece, and you get some of your body heat into the pen, and it's bonding with you. It loves you. It wants to do a good job drawing for you tonight. It's not gonna be interrupted, and it's going to support you on this journey of doodling and drawing, okay? Feeling it, feels warmer, feels like me, right? And I'm using a Sharpie, because I'm gonna be using my document camera, and I want you to be able to see my marks, but you can use a pencil, you can use a ballpoint pen, doesn't matter what you use, really doesn't matter. I like not erasing, I think, because we're gonna draw pretty fast. Okay, so I'm gonna, we're going to be starting the same way we started last week, which is kind of, honestly, if you took my drawing class, like we often just start doing repetitive mark making. So this would be done on scrap paper. And the goal is non-attachment. So we're going to be making repeated loops, and we're going to be making enough of them that we don't care about them. And we let go of whether they're good or bad. And it's one of those things where if you try too hard, they come out bad. And when you don't care and you don't try, they start coming out better. Like you need to feel loose, right? It's going to be like improv or throwing down beats. It could be like rhythmical, and you can experiment with like how you want to do it. So let me go to it's It's better if I just show you by drawing. So let me go to my document camera. Turn the light on here. I'm just gonna spotlight my own thing so I can tell if it's, yeah, that's not bad in terms of, yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw down a lot of ellipses or loops. But you can do it any way you want. Some people like to stay on one for a long time, just zone out. Some people might like to do them quick. And by some people, I mean all of us. You can try different things. Some could be more like a circle, you know, you could just do circles, or you could do them really skinny like that. Larger loops, smaller loops. And we're accessing all of our senses. I have a stinky Sharpie, so I can even use scent, but I have obviously my eyes, the sound that it makes, the feeling. How are you gripping the pen right now? Are you holding on with like a death clamp, or are you relaxed? And can you change that a little bit? Can you try relaxing if you're kind of stiff on that? You can change the way you hold it. Maybe hold it from the end. Might get a different kind of ellipse. But the real secret is in repetition, okay? Just need to do a lot of these. And I can feel when my body starts to relax. There's a shift, and it doesn't happen until I've like filled up kind of more than half the page even. And we're not attached to whether they look good or bad. That being said, sometimes you're going to make one that you like, and you can celebrate that and go, ooh, that was fun. That was a good one. And there's nothing wrong with that. But don't worry about the ones you don't like. Just kind of celebrate when it feels. How does it feel when you make one? Okay. So once you have like a page of them, notice how you feel. And one thing that we're thinking about, as I like to draw myself like a bean character, right? And when I'm drawing, right, here's my little pencil. I like to think of myself as being under the surface, going into the sort of the non-verbal part of my brain. The more quiet I can get, I can listen. I can listen to someone else talking, listen to a podcast, love to listen to music. But it's different from when I'm talking like I am now. So I am relaxed, but I would be even more relaxed if I weren't leading the workshop, right? I hope you're getting an even greater dose of relaxation. So this is the above the surface. If this were water, when we draw, we're going under the surface, okay? And the way that I like to get there is through repetition. And this is a relaxation technique. And at any time that you feel you need to go back to feeling relaxed, if some other activity we're doing, you can go back to these, right? And it's a way to just like clay on the wheel, it's centering, but you can do it just by doodling. All right, and then the other idea is noodling. So noodling is when you can just take what's already here and connect things. And so we played with this last week too, but I just want to remind you of these ideas. So noodling is when you just make connections, but they also don't matter. It's also very whatever. Like, okay, so like what happens if I shade this one in a little bit? That's relaxing, you know, but I'm not really worried about making good composition. And I know that nobody will probably ever see this. This is just for the how it makes me feel. And there's a little bit more problem solving or connection making in noodling versus that repetitive zoning out feeling of the loops. And I just wanted to bring those two feelings to you so that you can use them when it has even nothing to do with art, just maybe you're in a stressful moment during your day. It's just something that you can do, and maybe you already do. Okay. So we went through these two things last week, and then the place that we got to next, I brought mine and we were making blob characters. So some of you might have your blob characters from last week. And we talked about how we can make different kinds of lines, and that we have dots and we have shapes. And we're going to be doing very simple cartooning to get into making comics. So even if you have a great facility with drawing and you can draw perfect hands and like bicycles out of your imagination, I'm very happy for you, but that's not necessary today. You want to keep it really simple, really, really simple. You don't need it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play, and you can like, you know, I want you to basically make a bunch of shapes. And maybe we'll just do one page of them so that you don't feel like we're too repetitive, but go ahead and give them faces. And if like, because we want to come up with some new characters, and characters can be very simple. And I want to just offer the Cyclops nacho chip to anyone who wants it. Always there for you, always cute, doesn't even really need a mouth. Okay, so you got that. Don't always have to put one eye. You could also have many eyes on a character, right? But we want to give our little blob some life, and just do whatever your hand wants to do. But the most important thing is I want you to approach this with that concept of non-attachment, so that when you make a character that you don't like, you don't care about it and you just move on to the next one, okay? And just move on to the next one. So you're bringing that same repetition feeling, but we're adding a bit more like character and interest to our little blobs, okay? So I'm gonna play very quietly a song, and let's just fill up our page just to get in that mode of creating life. We're gonna making these little characters. Sorry, let me just go to my music, escape. Here we go. I'm gonna play. Okay. And let's make blobs. I'm gonna stop showing. I don't want to influence you with my drawing. I want you to do your own thing. gonna stop it there. So let's check in. How did you do with your blobs? Let's just hold them up if you feel comfortable. Do you have some blobs? Some blobs happened? Yay! All right, these are awesome. Good job. Beautiful. They didn't exist and now they exist, and we all made them at the same time. It's so cool. All right, so we've got, and you don't have to, like I said, it's that non-attachment. We don't have to like the whole page. We just have to like maybe one or two of them a little bit, just enough to want to draw them again. But you know what, before we move on to anything, now that we're a bit more relaxed, let's go back to our loopy page. And I want you to do something, because what happens with relaxation is you're better able to access memory. So I want you to go back into today. It has to be today. Something from today, because this is the evening. So you had it today. You woke up and things happened, okay? Something you heard, or something you said, or something someone said to you, or it was like on the radio, or it was a text. It doesn't really matter what it was, but like close your eyes for a second, now that you're relaxed, and come up with one sentence from today and write it on your loopy page. If you just scribble it on there. And I actually don't know what I'm gonna write. I have to take a second. Something from today. What happened? It helps if you close your eyes. All right. So I wrote down, I got out 2 sentences, so maybe I cheated, but that's okay. It's like a phrase or a little moment from today. Okay, you wrote it down? Good job. Well, we're in this mode of remembering things. One more thing. I want options. This is for later. A song lyric. It doesn't have, not about today, any song, any time of your life, just one sentence from a song. Close your eyes, whatever song comes, even if you hate the song, it doesn't matter. You don't have to like it, just it's in your head. Oh, and try not to do the, maybe I will try not to do the song we just listened to, but it's okay if you do. It doesn't matter, it really doesn't matter. It's a song lyric. Okay, see what comes up. Okay, so we're just gonna keep that, I'm just gonna keep that handy. We may not even use it, but we're gonna have it, okay? Just for later if we want it. 2 things. All right, let's go back to where we were. So now we have our page of blob characters. And we're gonna forget about what we just said. Like the more we forget, the better. Not gonna associate it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick one that you feel like you could draw it again and it wouldn't be that hard and you like it a little bit, like you're like, that'd be fun to draw again. And there's no pressure in having to draw it well, and you can totally change it around if you're like, I like it, but I wish I didn't put that thing on it. Like you can totally edit it, whatever you want, doesn't matter, okay? But just something from the blob page. We're trying not to, like in my case, and maybe in some of your cases, like I have this character, I'm working on this book, you definitely don't want to draw that character. I'm like, oh, I need something else. Like that's what I'm trying to generate. Like I'm something new, okay? All right, so I'm picking one, and then what are we gonna do? Well, let me go to my document camera and I'll show you, because I am a visual person. There we go. Great. Oh, and I need to focus. Sorry. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. And I'm sorry, I have not looked at the chat. Oh. Okay. Oh, I hope you can hear me.
Oh, good, Cara. We can hear you.
Okay, good. All
You're in
right.
focus.
All right, so fresh blank piece of paper, clean and fresh, nothing on it. I'm recycling. You can see how I make my comics. See, yeah, that's one I didn't decide to use. But now I'm using the blank, the backside. Okay, and I want to use 4 panels, and you can draw the panels however you want. We're not using rulers. We're not caring if they are match or if the lines are straight. Just whatever your hand does, just be like, okay, hand, you're in control. Whatever you do, I'm going with it. But I feel like 4 is a good amount, right? And you can do it and be like, guess what? I'm turning it upside down because I want it like that. Okay. And then go to your little blobs and pick out the one you like. Who's it gonna be? Who gets to be the blob of the day? And we're gonna just go ahead and draw, like use it as your guide and redraw it. Redraw it in the first panel. So you're going to have, all you have to do is copy something you already did once. That's not that hard. You can do it. You did it once, you'll do it again. And like I said, you can, it doesn't have to be exact copy, it's just inspired. It's not exactly the same, but it's inspired by what you did. Okay. Good. And then let's take your time. I'm gonna go to gallery view. When you feel like you've, oh, let me switch out of my document camera for a second. I love your costume, Laura. That's awesome. Yeah, you got your little character. You've got 4 boxes. You do the character in the box. Nice. And keep going. If you're not ready, it's okay. Yeah. We're keeping it simple. That's great. Awesome. Okay. And the amazing Linda Berry, she really like slowed me down in a beautiful way about panels, and she calls them picture windows. And as soon as you put a blobby character in a picture window, they just have this presence now. Like when they're all loose and crazy in your sketchbook, it's like, whatever, it's just a commotion. But now it's like, whoa, this character is in a panel. Like it really sets us off on this kind of cool note if you've not done it before. Or even if you do it all the time, it's still kind of exciting when you have a new character inside of a panel. But now we need to kind of get things going. So this is where I want to give you some options. And the end goal is that we just feel excited and creative. So not the same thing works for everybody. So I want to like kind of list out ideas of what you could do, and you just pick the one that works for you. And the one that I enjoy doing is I like to go back to either my song lyric or my quote from the day and write it in the first panel along with the image. And I enjoy the surprise of it. Like, oh, what happens when I put these two, my blob character with the sentence from something someone said to me, or I said, or I heard, or whatever, or this song lyric that kind of came to me when I just sat and thought for a second. But you might say, ugh, I don't like that idea. That's not what I want to do. As soon as I saw my character in this picture, I already got going, and I don't want to do that. And that is also fun. So you might see your character and be like, oh, it has a baby and they live on Mars and whatever. Like, you can just go wherever your mind wanted you to go. But if you're like, I have no idea what to do, this is where we can go back to that quick little sentence generation. And I'm going to see what happens when I write my sentence with this picture and just see what that does to my brain. Okay. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll try to write clearly so it's easy to read it. I use capital letters sometimes because it's my neatest handwriting. So I've added a sentence to my character. And the more you are like, I have no idea what's going to happen next, the better. Okay. And permission for these to be completely idiotic and stupid and not even make sense. And that's cool too. Like, it doesn't have to come together in this beautiful way. I do this exercise all the time, and like 1 out of 10 ends up being kind of profound. I'm like, oh, that's meaningful. And a lot of times I'm like, I'm so stupid. Like, I don't know what I did. So that's how we're going to enter that non-attachment feeling of like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And you have 3 more panels. And sort of by just seeing something in that first panel, some people, like I said, didn't need the sentence part. I do. So I'm going to just see where the dialogue and the imagery go. Some of you, the dialogue stops and it's just all imagery. Some of you might do a lot more writing and less drawing. It doesn't matter as long as you're going. And just, you have to stop on number 4 because that's all you got. So I'm gonna play a little music and we'll just fill these up and see what happens. And yeah, it's gonna be a funny surprise. Ideas, you can zoom in, zoom out, add more characters, have a landscape, you know, have all kinds of things happen. So here, I'm gonna get some music going and let's just go. Sorry, I'm not faster at this. Okay. I think it might be time to share. Might turn off my tinny, not good sounding music, but at least it helped us kind of just measure the time. Here we go. Okay. So this is our first time doing the share, which is exciting. And if you have something done and you would like to read it, you can raise your hand. Yay, I see one hand, Christy. Okay, all right, let's go. I'm gonna pick the first one and then Tom, you can jump in if you want. I'm going to,
This one's crazy. I don't understand it at all. It's literally things someone said to me or something from a song. It goes, the legend lives on. And then the other one says, I have no idea how to react. They said, it's fine. I didn't know you didn't celebrate. And then it says, okay.
let me see.
I played Apple Jam today and someone tried me and tried to trick or treat and I didn't know how to respond, and that's where that came from.
That's so great. Yeah, and that's so specific to this time of year too, like trick or treating, right? Thank you for being so brave and being the first one to share. I'll let Tom pick our next spotlighter. Let's see. What do you think, Tom?
Hi.
Hi.
So I had these drawings last week, and I liked this guy down here.
Yes.
And then I used the lyric from The Cure. Show me,
Mhm.
show me, show me how you do that trick. The one that makes me scream, the one that makes me laugh. And then what I discovered in this is that ha 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 is the opposite, the inverse of ah. And then they say, I'll run away with you. I'll run away with you.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's lovely. Yes, that is so nice.
We've got Libby next in my screen, so I'll place spotlight. There we go. But I also have to unmute Libby. How do I do that? Give me a second, y'all. Working on it. Wait, Libby, I can't unmute you. Why can't I? Hang on a second. There we go. And then I think you have to unmute yourself. There we go.
Cool.
And spotlight. All right, got it.
Okay, so I wasn't kidding when I said my blob looked like Halloween candy.
Nice.
So today it was said, look, a weasel. And so the other Halloween candy says that's not a weasel. And it says it's not, nope. And then it says that's a weasel.
That's a weasel. Oh my gosh. I love the candy corn hiding behind the other candy corn. It's like the best.
I had to go and see if those were the right colors, but I
Oh,
think they are.
yeah.
That's it.
I love it. Thank you. Weasels and candy corn. Who would have put those two things together? But I love it. Let's see.
Go to ND. I'm asking to unmute. Go to spotlight. There we go.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
So very briefly, this is something that happened to me today. I was shoveling, or I was using a shovel. I turned it into shoveling. I dropped it on my toe and I said, ow, I hope I didn't hurt myself. And then one of the things that came up recently was talking about what was free and what's not free. Says, it said, fuck, that hurts. And then the last panel says, well, at least it's free.
Yeah.
That's just funny.
I like the foot camera. Who's up next?
I've got Jennifer up next. We're gonna,
Okay.
there we go.
Great, thanks. Okay, so I've got, all in all, it's just another brick in the wall.
Mhm.
Hey. Are you going to that party? Dunno. What do you mean you don't know? It's Halloween.
It's Halloween. That's great.
Right. Hi, see. I just shared.
Hello. Welcome to our drawing session.
So, hi, this little owl showed up, and this is an actual conversation I heard my granddaughter and my husband. I want to go to the beach. And so, so the cat's saying, well, how about this? If it's sunny out after your nap, we'll go. So the owl had a nap, and then they went in the boat,
Oh,
and they're wearing life jackets, orange life jackets.
oh, that's sweet. These are so good.
Here's the collection of blobs that I used.
Blob
And by
party.
the way, I've already used this with my 6th graders, this exercise.
Fun.
And here is the 4-panel. So the original one is a thought in my head. I said, did anyone else have frost on their car this morning? And he says, no, I'm just a clam. I don't need a car. This one says, clams make me fart. And then, me too. Do you have a ice scraper I could borrow? Thanks a lot. Thanks for coming back.
This is fantastic.
So this is my blob, and I decided to go with something someone said to me today. I took that in a very far way, and I was playing a video game in which you play as a farmer. So the blob is saying, you're that new farmer. Here's me saying, yeah, I guess so. And the blob is asking me, what are you going to grow? And here I am sort of in the video game world with my little farmhouse and dairy saying, I'm not good at growing things, actually. It's very difficult for me. So the blob decides to give me a little support. I think everything is growing just fine, and there are little other tiny blobs being grown.
Oh my gosh, blob power. That is lovely. I love how it intersected with your video game life, and oh, there's more. That's lovely.
Thank you.
Everyone. So
Hello.
first panel. Oh, there's a bombus in my broad beans. Hello.
I love it. That's wonderful.
Okay, so here's mine. I did that Joni Mitchell song where she says, I want to skate away. So I love that song. And so he skates away. And then when he gets far away, skate away from here, I guess the blob realizes not much has changed.
I'm still a blob.
And, yeah.
That's
it.
great. How great is that skating mark, that skating line that the little blob is making as he's skating? It's so great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Okay.
There you go.
Hello.
What was said today was, I like to get the whole family cooking together. Kids, husband, come cook. I mean it. And then in the end there she is, she looks a little sad in the kitchen. It's a sad one. Sorry.
No, that's good. It's true. I like how he's like the blob is like up against the edge of the panel too, that like kind of being pressed a bit. That gives a nice tension.
I think I thought of the same song that the other Michael thought of by Joni Mitchell,
Whoa.
River. And so I drew this one starting with this blob. It was sort of shaped like the pillow you use on an airplane that starts in the first panel. I wish I was a river. And then in the second panel, I added skates, although I'm from Southern California, I don't really know what skates look like. And I added goggles, as you can see. And then the next line of the song says, I made my baby cry. And that's the back of the blob with the skates going away. And then it returns to the first line, I wish I was a river, and it shows the tracks.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Which only works because of the first three panels. Like it really, it shows the power of that.
Right.
That what comics can do. Yeah, that's lovely.
Right.
I love that you have both thought of the same song.
Let's see. Mary, are you unmuted?
Oh, hey, Mary.
It's my turn?
It's your turn.
Okay, I was just like filling in the last panel, which I didn't. Okay, why is this sitting here on my screen? Okay. So I jumped in because everybody seems to be on a Joni Mitchell thing tonight, including me.
What?
I know, right? My lyric was, I'll even kiss the sunset pig from, I think it's called California, I'm Coming Home or something like that. And I always thought that was an interesting lyric. And because, so a lot of my blobs turn into ladies. And there she is. She's like, I'll even kiss the sunset pig. And the next line is, or there's a different line, sitting on a bench in Paris, France.
Nice.
And then there's this whole scene where I get overcommitted in these things. There's this whole scene where she's, meets a dancer in Greece, and he steals her. He smiles at her, but he steals her camera. And then I didn't get to the last one. The last one would be California, I'm Coming Home.
Nice. I love it.
Great song. It's got a story to it.
I'm definitely listening to Joni Mitchell right after this, everybody.
Oh, she's got such great imagery.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Okay. And oh yeah, and I want to say too, for anyone that didn't get to their fourth panel, totally doesn't matter. Like you can just tell us what happens. It was not a lot of time, so it totally makes sense if you didn't get to the end. To be expected.
Hi. So I borrowed the lyric from David Bowie's Life on Mars.
Nice.
So the duck is asking if there's life on Mars. Maybe they're little green men. Maybe they're scary worms. Either way, I want to meet them.
Oh, I love it.
Thank you.
I love the thought bubbles. The thought bubble worm. That feels right.
Awesome. Cara, you want to wind us down? I think that's everybody's hands.
Okay, yeah. Do you guys want to see what I made? It's kind of it's one of my stupid ones. Okay. I guess I have to make money. Okay, fine. I'll make some money. It's stupid. Does it really even matter? I guess I'll work in an office, a horrible office. Here I am doing work in boring hell. I'm a wolf. This is ridiculous. That's what came out of mine. Tom, did you want to share? Did you do one? Not to put you on the spot.
If you really want me to share, I'll share, but it like literally, I mean, I was so scattered during this because honestly, I was like on email, I was letting people in and stuff like that.
That's true.
And
yeah,
also,
no pressure.
And also my first drafts are notoriously bad. So like I can always, no, it's true. I can always rework something. So like that's the character I did. And I put something, they stuck it in the risograph is something I said today. But I realized later that had to be panel 3. Oh, thanks. And I'll remove your spotlight. There we go. Look at that. So that's panel 1, or the first panel I drew, but then I realized it had to be panel 3. That wound up being panel 1. Panel 2 is he pulls a sandwich out of a risograph and he says, my sandwich. And then panel 3, oh wait, panel 3 is they stuck it in the risograph. Okay. And then panel 4 was the song you were playing by Kate LeBon, that Are You With Me Now? So he's like eating it and it says, Are you with me now? But like, I can't believe I'm showing this because it's so
No,
horrible.
how
But I can-
happy are all of you that I made Tom do this, you guys? We got a peek, and he's brilliant. We got a peek inside his creative brain because I forced him. Yeah.
I couldn't do it in order though. Like I couldn't even do
But
it.
like,
in
don't
order.
you love to know he doesn't do them in order? Like I didn't know that. It's awesome. And I live for, like, that's the whole thing, is like there's no one magic way to do creativity. Like everyone does it their own, and everyone's like, my way's the wrong way, but I sneak by. But like, no, like amazing. I'm so happy you showed us that. Yes, everyone is celebrating. We're all excited.
Jojo has one to show, and maybe that's our last.
Yeah, well, I certainly feel so much happier this Friday than I did last Friday. This was really fun. And I want to just really thank you all for coming. And oh, JoJo's going to share hers.
Oh, okay. So I made a ghost, and the first panel says, I never thought I would be a photographer again, which is what a photographer at my rock show last night Instagram messaged me. And then in the next one, with no eyes at all, Art World, Happy Families, because I was watching Midsummer Murder. Everyone could have motive. Paranoid ghost eyes up close, because you said you could zoom in. And then on the top of the mountain, if only the phony version of me could just vanish, or some form of that. A friend of mine's Instagram got spoofed, and she said something like that, and I thought it was poetic. If only the phony version of me could vanish. Anyway, but ghost friend solidarity, thank you for the redo.
Yay, yes. Hopefully we're healed. We're a bit healed, maybe not completely, but we're better than we were. Yes, so thank you so much for Tom for putting this together, for keeping these sessions alive. And this is just, the beginning, and it's going to keep growing and getting better. And I'll certainly come back and hang out. I love it. Thank you so much.
Cara. Guess we'll sign off. Thanks everybody. Reminder, next week we'll have Lawrence Lindell. There's in the chat, you can see it, but we'll probably end this in a second. And there's lots of places to share at members.sawcomics.org. Cara, thank you so much for coming all the way from Cape Cod.
The armpit of Cape Cod.
The armpit of Cape Cod. All right, I guess we'll just sign off and make it a thing. Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Have an
everybody.
awesome weekend.